Bizzarp.
Hello and welcome to the Bizzarp Podcast, Episode 18. Come geek out with us. We are your hosts. I'm Davey.
I'm Mark.
I'm Amanda.
With Valentine's Day just around the corner, this episode is dedicated to love and friendship in comics. We talk about the best couples in comics, and fuck that, this episode is all about Deadpool. We break down the character and his backstory, explain a bit about the villain in the film, and just generally geek out about the merc with a mouth. The Bizzarp Podcast is part of the Bizzarp Network. You can find this podcast and other goodies at Bizzarp.com. That's Bizzarp.com. You can also email us at feedback@Bizzarp.com. I am so stoked about this episode.
I am so stoked about the movie, which is going to be airing today.
The day this comes out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is like
the day this pod.
First for us.
Yeah.
This is like a podcast about stuff that's happening the day it comes out instead of a week after it comes out.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I like that.
It was amazing.
Once in a lifetime, fellas.
Alright, so we have a shit ton of stuff in this episode, so we should just jump right in here.
Agreed.
Yes.
So first, we need to talk about Deadpool's backstory. Mark, I think you know the most about this, right?
No one really knows about his backstory.
Yeah, he has. Aren't there like a bunch of different versions of his backstory?
Yeah.
No one really knows the exact.
To me, he's like the Joker of the Marvel Universe. Joker, there's so many backstories, and a lot of those backstories are told by the Joker, and they're always contradictory. The same as with Deadpool. Deadpool always has different backstories, a lot of which he's the one that comes up with them. No one really knows where he came from, what his actual background is. We just know that he's fucked up in the head.
Well, I think it is canon that he was part of the Weapon X program.
Yeah, that
he had like a bunch of cancer.
the most that we do know, is that he had cancer. Because he had such aggressive cancer everywhere, he went into the Weapon X because they said that well, why don't you sign your life away and maybe we'll be able to cure it after all. And he was like, better than nothing. And then they did, kind of not. They experimented on him and gave him the craziest healing factor ever.
Yeah.
And it basically replicated all of his cells. It's constantly just regenerating all of his cells, but that includes the cancer cells, which leaves them all scarred and disfigured.
Yeah.
And takes a huge toll on his sanity, making him literally insane. He has a hard time sometimes figuring out what's reality and what's not.
Yeah, and he also knows that he's a comic book character.
Yes.
And constantly breaks the fourth wall.
Yes. But yeah, they turn him into basically a crazy healing weapon. Like, they taught he has high fighting skills that just... And with an unpredictable manner of fighting, it's really hard to predict what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
Like, he fought a character named Taskmaster once, who has the ability to copy... It's like a photogenic ability that allows him to copy moves and stuff, and he wasn't able to keep up with Deadpool, because Deadpool was just so unpredictable.
Yeah, he's an amazing fighter, and he can keep up with the likes of Cap and Taskmaster, who is one of the greatest fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, he also regularly has a device that allows him to teleport. Right,
which is usually really fun. It's like less useful and more just for like comedic. He uses it for comedic timing more than anything.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. He also has a satchel, a magic satchel that contains all of his weapons and ammo. One thing about his healing factor is people have tried to like replicate his healing factor into like themselves, but without an aggressive cancer to fight, they basically just heal to death.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, it gets to the point where it just starts to eat away at itself or something?
Yeah, basically. It's basically just
holy shit.
it's such like a crazy amount of healing that they just waste away. So really, the cancer is kind of the only thing keeping him alive.
In the most ironic of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Wolverine. His adamantium skeleton keeps his healing factor in check as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this isn't about Wolverine. He also uses his awareness that he's a fictional character to his advantage sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't he go back and, like, he'll be like, I read this in a comic book, and he knows what's going to happen and shit?
Yeah, like, after the whole thing with Spider-Man and his aunt dying or almost dying and making a deal with Mephisto so that she doesn't die, when Deadpool encounters him, he, like, talks about that. He's like, at least I didn't make a deal with the devil. And Spider-Man's like, what are you talking about? He's like, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Let's see here.
At least he hasn't done anything as crazy as, like, Lobo from DC, who's, like, pulled a person out of our universe into his.
Yeah,
Lobo that's some fourth wall shit right there.
Yeah. Well, Lobo is basically Deadpool on steroids. He's a Deadpool that can throw down with Superman.
Yeah. Anyway.
Alright, we're going to stop for a sec and tell you about Audible.com. Audible.com is the internet's leading source of audiobooks with hundreds of thousands of selections from all genres. If you go to audibletrial.com/Bizzarp, you'll get a month for free and one free audiobook. Personally, I'd recommend The Ocean at the End of the Lane, written and narrated by Neil Gaiman. So check it out. That's audibletrial.com/Bizzarp. Now let's get back to Deadpool.
Yeah.
Alright.
I want Ocean at the End of the Lane narrated by Neil Gaiman. That sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually a really good book.
It is
Amanda, you should read it.
I'm gonna actually go listen to it because I just want to hear Neil Gaiman just read it to me. That just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, let's Mark. I know you've probably have more for you're kind of our Deadpool expert now. Who's gonna be the movie villain?
We know the villain is named Ajax, and I don't want to put it out there that I'm a Deadpool expert. I
said R. I'm not saying
I know.
You're Bizzarp's leading Deadpool expert until we get somebody else.
Want to make sure people know that I don't know all that much about Deadpool. I know enough, but not a crazy amount. Anyway, Ajax. He's the movie villain. Basically, the whole Weapon X project, there was Stryker, who did like Wolverine and a couple others, but then there was Deadpool, who was with Dr. Kilbrew and his group of psychopaths. And one of the things about that whole thing was that he had Dr. Kilbrew had assistants, and if the assistants fucked up, they got thrown into the project as well to get experimented on. And Ajax is one of those. Basically, Kilbrew removed his nerves to make sure he had a high pain tolerance, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And heightened a bunch of his like physical attributes, and he basically became Deadpool's like #1 rival there for a minute, from what I can tell. But he gets like heightened speed, I think strength
and agility,
like really good intelligence.
Wow.
He's pretty badass.
Speed, agility, strength, and intuitive capacity.
Do we know why he doesn't like Deadpool, or why they kind of go up against each other? Or is that...
Basically, he tried to set up Deadpool to kill somebody, kill another project member, so that Deadpool would then get killed. And then Deadpool got killed, and then it was the first time Deadpool regenerated. And basically, Deadpool then hunted down and killed Ajax before he was Ajax. And then he was found that actually he survived, and Killebrew Hunt grabbed him and fucked with him and sent him back after Deadpool. So yeah,
I can definitely see how they could work that into the movie, like really.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
It makes the most sense for that to be the movie's villain, actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if we'd be giving away anything from the movie because we don't really know what's happening in the movie, but apparently he did hunt down and kill other members of Weapon X.
Yeah.
And trying to get at Deadpool.
Deadpool doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, of course.
One thing I actually found out today about the movie was the guy that's playing Weasel, who's kind of like Deadpool's sidekick. He announced that I heard something that there's going to be a director's cut of the movie coming out afterwards, like when it comes out on like Blu-ray, and the director's cut is going to be way more brutal than the actual movie.
Really?
Like the movie itself is pushing R.
Ooh.
And
nice.
And it's pushing the limits, and apparently the director's cut is just fucking crazy.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So
I hope
that sounds
that's true.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm so excited for this movie. Oh my god.
So real quick before we jump into about the movie and a lot of the marketing and all that, we should talk about some stories that Deadpool showed up in or star Deadpool that people could check out. Well,
there's Identity Disc.
Yes, that was what I was going to say.
Okay, that one's really good. It has him and a bunch of other villains trying to find a disc that supposedly has every single superhero and supervillain's like name, home address, like all of their information.
Yeah, and I think this was that was actually before Civil War, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they had all this information on, secret top secret files and shit. And it would be really cool if they were able to do this movie, but they wouldn't be able to with the rights. But it's Sabretooth, Deadpool,
Juggernaut,
Bullseye, Juggernaut, Sandman,
Vulture. Yeah.
And one of the best parts of that to feature Deadpool is him versus Bullseye. And he just keeps pissing off Bullseye, and Bullseye just keeps there's a part where Bullseye says something, or Deadpool says something to Bullseye that pisses him off, and he just throws the lid of a
plastic lining, of
a fast food cup, and it slits Deadpool's throat.
Deadpool,
and his throat heals, of course. And he says something again, and he just flicks the straw and slits Deadpool's throat again.
I've seen that. It's amazing.
Oh, man.
And Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe is actually something that I've read and highly recommend. It's obviously a what-if story, but it's really stupid funny.
3 of them.
Yeah.
There's Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, Deadpool Killology or something like that, where he just goes on a rampage, and then Deadpool kills Deadpool is the last one.
Oh god. It was really funny, and the ending of it didn't surprise me in the slightest. And I was like, that's the way that should have gone.
Yeah.
That was the next logical step. So it's really stupid funny.
And then, Mark, don't you have not the first
appearance? I thought it was his first appearance, but it's okay. So he was in a panel of the New Titans, or not New Titans, the New Generation X or whatever.
Yeah.
And just like a panel, getting hired on to go take on Cable and his crew. And it was just like a panel, but I had the second real appearance where he actually shows up to fight Cable in X-Force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he turns out, like, Domino is a member of X-Force, and Domino apparently is working for this other group, and she's having conflicted feelings, and then Deadpool, who is apparently dating Domino at that point, shows up and is like, fuck shit up, really. Is just a fucking crazy motherfucker right off the get-go.
Isn't it all 90s as fuck, like all extreme and...
Oh, God, so 90s.
Just pockets everywhere.
Yeah.
Horrible anatomy, Lee Field.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Deadpool has evolved so much from that.
Right.
And, like, he came out of that era, but I'm glad he's the one that survived.
Well, a lot of them survived, but I'm glad he's,
yeah.
He's not the same, and I'm glad for that.
Yes. So let's move on to a bit more about the movie. There's actually some... What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say the initial reviews, because it's early enough that people are starting to review it. The initial reviews are coming back amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone seems to just be underneath the consensus that this is a beautiful thing, and that Ryan Reynolds has finally broken that terrible, terrible curse.
See, I haven't read any of the reviews. I want to go in with this with just childlike wonder. I don't want anybody to just shatter that.
That's probably.
I don't want nothing spoiled. I'm gonna be on like a little bit of an internet hiatus after Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to as well. I
everyone's
like to
gonna
freak
go
with Tumblr, but
yeah. So I don't know. They were pretty good about Force Awakens, but I think this is just one of those things that the internet's not gonna. Oh, Imgur had like a consensus like, hey, everybody fuck off for a week here. Let people go see the movie. So it was pretty nice. They had people just downvoting like Force Awakens stuff. It was beautiful. But anyways, I think it's going to be very easy to have a lot of this movie spoiled for you.
Yeah. One of the great things about this movie so far is the way they've built up the hype, and they've nailed the marketing 100%.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
And unless you've had your head stuck underneath a rock, you've seen something. You know, they've cast the net so wide they've hit every demographic.
They even put out a Valentine's Day promo.
Yep. And a couple really awesome PSAs that everybody should watch.
Yes.
Yeah, I was not expecting Deadpool to talk to us about breast cancer and testicular
and it's actual,
cancer.
Like the actual way you should check.
Yeah, it's like super serious about it, which is like even better.
Like, it's like a legit PSA, just Deadpool style, is so stupid beautiful.
Yeah, and
yeah. I also watched the Australian Day little clip he did.
I haven't seen it.
I watched that a lot.
It's hilarious.
I've been mostly like watching and looking at like the posters and stuff. Those are just killing me, man.
Oh yeah, like the I like the one where it's like Batman versus Superman, and they have like X's through it, and then it's just like Deadpool. Deadpool was here or something like that, and one of the symbols is actually just his face.
There's so many good ones. I think my favorite is the one that makes it look like a rom-com. I was like, that is gonna frick somebody.
Yeah.
They're just
I
gonna
hope so.
be oblivious, and just one stupid girl is gonna fall for it, and it's gonna be amazing.
Hey, look, honey, Ryan Reynolds is in a new romantic comedy. Let's go see it for Valentine's Day.
I also like the one where he's in like a terrible sweater that says Deadpool, and it's like a new class of superhero. Yes. It's just the marketing is beautiful. There's one making fun of the Hunger Games. Like, they've just... The
emoji?
Yes, that one.
With the skull, the poop, and the L.
Yes.
It's funny because, like, you look on Tumblr, and when it first came out, a lot of people were really confused about it.
Yeah.
People were like, what the hell is skull poop?
Yeah, and then one person figured it out, and it like exploded all over the internet.
Didn't Ryan Reynolds actually respond to that? Or something?
He calls it skull poopil.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is he's redeeming himself in a big way with this whole movie. The fact that he stole the fucking costume.
Yep. He stole one of them. There are multiple.
He's like, I've been trying to make this movie for 10 years. I'm taking the costume.
I'm taking
he just walked off with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just let him.
I mean, on Halloween, somebody got a picture of him. He was wearing the suit, and he was going up to trick-or-treaters that were like X-Men and trying to assemble like a little X-Men. It's great.
I saw just like a little clip of the chick playing Psylocke in the new X-Men movie, and Ryan Reynolds was on set, and she's like doing awesome fucking like sword play, and he's got a little balloon sword, and she's like all in front of him, just like doing these crazy moves, and he just goes boop boop and bops her on the head.
I see that. You look at that kind of stuff, and it's like, holy shit, this man was I think one of the greatest quotes I've ever seen is, it's like Deadpool took over Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool.
Yeah, I actually saw another thing on Tumblr. It was a gift set, and he was talking on set about how he came to find out about Deadpool, and basically like back in like 2004, fans sent him the whole Deadpool series, and was like, if they ever make a Deadpool series, you have to be Deadpool. You are Deadpool. And he was like, oh, okay. And he said he opened it up, in the first panel, someone was asking what Deadpool looked like under the mask. And and Deadpool responded with, it's like a mix of Ryan Reynolds mixed with a Shar-Pei. And ever since then, Ryan Reynolds has been in love. And he read the whole thing and was like, I gotta do this. And he's been trying to make a movie ever since.
Oh, man. Oh.
I think, honestly, a big part of this movie's success is the fact that Ryan Reynolds is one of the producers. Yeah. I think that... Mm-hmm. I honestly think that the X-Men movie, with that just monstrosity, and Green Lantern, I think the problem was it was just very shitty writing. You know? And in this, and as an actor, you just don't get a lot of creative control a lot of the time. And I think with this, he took charge. He was like, nope, we're going to do this absolutely correct. Fuck everybody who doesn't want it. Yeah. And it's working, and it's beautiful. It's a fanboy making the greatest homage ever.
Well, and the great thing is, they don't even really need to explain it away. Like, try to explain why there's this Deadpool when Deadpool already showed up. Because, one, it's Deadpool. And two, X-Men First Class kind of reset the timeline. Yeah. So, it's awesome.
If he doesn't reference that other Deadpool, I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, he will.
He's going to.
He's, yeah.
Most likely. There will probably also be a Green Lantern reference.
Yeah. There is a Green Lantern reference.
Am I going to be in a...
There wasn't in the original... Yeah, he's like, just make sure my suit isn't green or animated.
Oh, I'm so excited for this movie.
The other day, actually, Mark, you asked a good question. Is Ryan Reynolds is going to continue on with Deadpool after this movie, just kind of on his own, or there'll probably be a sequel at least.
Yeah.
Because he could just, I mean, he'll probably be allowed to, because it makes so much money, just like still do commercials and PSAs and shit just for fun.
Right.
I don't think he's gonna be able to
like
let
legally
go. Yeah.
Oh no,
not
no.
legally. I don't think, like, just emotionally, I don't think he's gonna be able to let go. I think he's having too much fun with this.
Yeah.
And if it does as well as I think it's going to, I think we'll definitely see a sequel, and I think that we'll see little, like, clips come here and there. I would like to hope so.
You know, this movie might kind of give his career a little bit of a bump, a kickstart.
It's possible.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, because he was really big for a while, and then he's kind of petered off, and this is gonna make him explode again.
Yeah.
And really, unfortunately, it was Green Lantern and Deadpool.
Yeah.
The first go around.
Yeah.
They were just... Green Lantern is just written very poorly.
Well, and he isn't a good Hal Jordan.
No.
He tried to play it a little too much like his comedic.
Yeah.
He's been serious. Like, he's in... there's a remake of, I think, House on Haunted Hill, or... God, I can't remember it. But, and he's really dark, and it's really creepy, and he just did not...
Yeah, he can be serious, yeah.
Yeah, so the writing was just
He's
bad.
really good about that.
He did the best... not the best with what he could, but... Anyway, this is going to completely... The fans love it. I mean, he's captured our hearts, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like, every superhero movie that comes out, I always have, even if it, like, even like Cap 3, where it looks absolutely amazing, there's always that little, like, apprehension of like, oh god, is this going to be awful? Is this going to be terrible? Every single comic book movie. This one, I have no doubt. Just, I have absolute, like, positive faith that this movie is going to be everything it should be.
Well, I mean, they expect it to be huge, too.
You just, with marketing like that, the clips that we've seen, and the reviews that are starting to pour in, I really don't have any doubt that this is going to be one of the greatest comic book movies.
Well, the store FYE, which is kind of a CD and, like, Blu-ray, DVD shop, they're doing pre-sales for the DVD already. For Deadpool.
At the time of this recording, it is a week before the movie airs in theaters. And they're fucking, you can put money down on Deadpool the DVD. I'm like, what?
Yep.
I didn't know FYE was still around.
In the malls, that's pretty much where you find them, is in a mall.
Which mall? Because there was like 3 in the malls around here, and now they're gone.
Tacoma.
Tacoma Mall still has it, and South Center still has one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Center. So far away.
Oh, that's so fun to go out there.
Anyway.
So let's get down to some Deadpool fun facts here.
Alright, so before we begin with those, real quick, the first one we're talking about, we didn't really explain this part of his mental aspect of his insanity in the comics. In every comic you read, there's like an inner monologue going through people's head, through your heroes' heads a lot of times, and in the comics those are represented in little boxes.
Yeah.
And Deadpool has 2 of those. One is a yellow box, and one is a white box. And sometimes, depending on how much head trauma he takes, they'll disappear for a while, and then they'll show back up, and they're witty, and they argue, and he talks with them, and...
It's like 3 people are in his brain. There's 3 separate
and like, he'll talk to them and stuff, and they'll be like, I thought it was the creative side of his brain and the logical side of his brain, but recently found out that while it kind of is, it's also actual villains. There's the yellow boxes are supposed to be Dr. Bong, who is a villain of Howard the Duck, which is hilarious to me. And then the logical voice is
the white one.
The white boxes, which is Madcap, which is a Captain America villain.
Yeah, and the thing, these are, we're not making this shit up. The yellow box is about Dr. Bong. That's in God damn it, in issue 28 of Deadpool, which came out in 2012.
Oh, that's revealed, yeah.
And then the white box thing, that was in the Deadpool Annual #1. Don't really know much about the synopsis. We couldn't find that. Or I couldn't find it. I just tried to look it up. But, I mean, it's not really clear if, like, why are they arguing? Or why are they in their head? Are they controlling him?
No, they never control him. They never really tell him and make him do anything. I think it's because those two characters are also kind of out there and crazy. And that's probably their inner monologue as well. They just all share an inner monologue.
That's so meta.
Yeah.
It's one of those things it's just never been made really clear why he has them in his head. They're just there. From my understanding, at least. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Much like his backstory.
Yeah, how, that's constantly changing. On to my favorite Deadpool fun fact. Everybody who's following along with Marvel has seen Thanos, the owner of the Gauntlet. And you'll be surprised to know that at least in the comics, probably more than likely not in the movies, Death, who is a physical embodiment, and she is a she, Thanos and Deadpool are in the best love triangle that has ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
With that, yeah.
All three of them. So they both... Well, Thanos loves Death, and...
Yeah, he's a nihilist.
Death loves Deadpool, and Deadpool's okay with it.
She also loves Thanos. To be fair,
she does, but
Thanos
Deadpool is like her
one
one true love. Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, and Deadpool's like fun and quirky and pushes her away and shit, and Thanos is like riding her. It's like a dog humping her leg, kind of.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So Deadpool, Thanos, the giant jealousy pool that he is, apparently granted Deadpool with immortality, so he'll never be able to be with
He gave him the curse of life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think Death at one point cursed Thanos with life, and then I think in retaliation, Death cursed Thanos with life so that he could never be with her either.
Yeah. But I guess Deadpool met Death in a near-death experience, because he's had a lot of those.
A couple.
And he became infatuated with her. And he would go visit her when he had a near-death experience, and they would spend time together and stuff, and it's really bizarre and amazing, and it's perfect for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this next part because I really like this part. So, a lot of people wonder, you get your fan fictions out there, and everyone always wonders if a certain character, what their sexual preference is and whatnot. Well, in a really smart move, December 2013, Deadpool was confirmed as being omnisexual by Deadpool writer Gary Dugan via Twitter. When asked about Deadpool's sexuality, co-creator Fabian Nicieza,
I think it's bad with names. Nicieza? It's hard to say.
It's hard to say, yeah. Stated Deadpool is whatever sexual inclination his brain tells him he is in that moment. And then the moment passes. He also stated that he was not trying to be dismissive, but readers always want to make a character their own, and often that is to the exclusion of what the character might mean to other fans. I've been dogged with the DP sexuality question for years. grow up. It is a bit tiring. He is no sex and all sexes. He is yours and everyone else's. So, not dismissive, but rather the epitome of inclusive.
Which makes so much sense for him, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's so random and all over the place, it would make sense that he wouldn't... Like, he could bounce back and forth between sexualities. He could not have a sexuality. I mean, yeah. Social norms don't exist for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'm sad we don't really have time to talk about, too, is Deadpool and Spider-Man's wonderful relationship.
Oh, God, I love it.
Much to Spider-Man's dismay. That could take a whole fucking episode, though. Jeez.
Yeah.
Just leave it at Deadpool. Deadpool is constantly fucking with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He's got a crush on him.
He does. He's a bro crush on him, and he just loves him to pieces. And Peter's so frustrated.
And that gets shipped a lot online.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the best ships I've found.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I don't really do a whole lot of shipping.
Yeah.
I never really have. I always do I'll do bro TP. OTP is original troop parent. I do bro TP, which is like two characters that are just really good friends that are like almost like brother and sister or brother and brother.
Oh, nice.
I'll do that between like universes and whatnot, or villains and superheroes. So yeah, they're like bro TP of the year. I do them, and I do follow the Tweak and Craig ship from South Park because that thing's hilarious.
I still have not seen that episode.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Jesus Christ.
I don't trust new South Park.
It's this last season, man.
Well,
okay, we're gonna move on.
Right. Let's do
Mark,
that.
Yeah, Mark, what is your favorite Deadpool moment?
Okay, so I changed my answer a million times, and I'm going to keep it to this last one I did.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool versus Bullseye. This happened a couple years ago. Norman Osborn hired Bullseye to kill Deadpool because Deadpool was fucking with Norman Osborn hardcore and making him look like an idiot, and he was pissed. So Bullseye confronts Deadpool and puts an arrow in his brain, and then takes him to a butcher, where the butcher was then going to chop him up, and they were going to put him on ice and then move him across the country so that he couldn't regenerate. Something to that effect. That was their thought process.
Yeah.
Well, some things happen. Deadpool wakes up. Deadpool regenerates. And Deadpool is fighting Bullseye and jumps into a meat locker and traps himself in a meat locker. And Deadpool's laughing at him about it, and all of a sudden it just kind of flashbacks to Deadpool as a kid in school, and they're like, what are you going to be when you grow up? Or what are you going to do with yourself when you grow up? And he's like, I'm going to wear a giant thing of meat. And then it jumps back to Deadpool kicking the meat locker open, wearing this frozen pig carcass as armor with a meat hook, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of Bullseye with it.
Oh, Davey, what's your favorite moment? God.
Mine is when Deadpool Shoryukens Kitty Pryde of the X-Men. She says something to him, and that's insulting, and he gets mad, and he was like, speaking of games, do you ever play Street Fighter? And she was like, no. And he just goes, Shoryuken! And uppercuts her into the air. And she actually flies up into the air, and Wolverine's standing there. And Wolverine, takes out his claws, and Deadpool's like, oh yay, fighty time now! Blood, blood, blood! Alright, Amanda, what's your favorite?
The Jar Jar Binks abomination. So... Deadpool is flying in space with some of these minions that are in like this, I don't know, they're in a yellow getup.
They're from AIM.
Okay. And he happens to make the comment, like Han Solo said to Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi, fly casual. And the dude, one of them's the dude driving states that he preferred the first 3 films. And there's just a panel of them just kind of staring at each other for a second. Then Deadpool just shoots his fucking face off. Turns to the other dude with the gun and says, "Say Jar Jar Binks is an abomination. Say it!" To which that dude promptly just starts like yelling it a couple times. That always gets me.
Oh.
Alright, well, go see Deadpool in theaters. It's out February 12th. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourselves. Make time to go see that, folks. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes, I'm gonna see it. We're gonna see it for Valentine's Day.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till the week after.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we have a quote from Deadpool.
Yay!
Mark, you do it. Ooh, my common sense is tingling.
And yes, he was making fun of Peter at that point.
Yeah.
All right. This has been the Bizzarp Podcast, a production of the Bizzarp Network. You can find this podcast and others at www.bizzarp.com. Until next time, remember, chimichangas are life.